Well, I'm not Pierre Baudraco, obviously, but Pierre is here, and he'll be glad to talk with all of you if you're interested after my presentation. I am Dominique Hiu, in charge of the software factory in BlueMind. So, BlueMind in a nutshell. I'll start with a presentation of BlueMind, the solution. This is a collaborative messaging solution, and I'll talk about BlueMind, the company as well, and I'll try to make you feel the issues we've encountered when trying to be successful in the email market. So BlueMind is today the first European enterprise email publisher. There are a few words important here. This is enterprise mail, and there is not open source here. Actually, we are the first right now. We have more than 400 clients. Yesterday I heard Pierre say we had more than 500 clients and customers in the whole world, especially in France, of course, from little enterprise to governments. Of course, BlueMind solution is open source, and we work with a network of integrators. We call them partners. They are those that will deal with final customers. We are not going to do installations. You install BlueMind and do the first level support of BlueMind. We are going to rely on a network of partners that will be trained and certified by us. And this allows us to be close to every customer, because when we meet people interested in BlueMind, the first thing we do is try to get them in touch with a partner that will be close to them so that they can make a successful project. So here are a few references. I won't get into the details, of course, but what's important is that there are small accounts, big accounts. There are some of them are public, private. We work with governments for which securities and sovereignty is a real preoccupation. So BlueMind has comprehensive features. I won't get into the details right now, but when you think about email, well, that's only part of the story. When we talk about a collaborative solution, there's much more than this. There are emails, of course, but everything you need to collaborate with people in real time or not. There's a bridge with voice on IP. There are tools for the users, whatever device they use, and there are tools for the administrators as well. So I'll start with this one. We are open source, but that's not enough. BlueMind is built on APIs. That means that we don't know how our own software is going to be used in the future, with which other solutions is going to work. So BlueMind is API first. It means that any partner or customer can imagine new ways to integrate BlueMind with their own infrastructure. So it's user-centric, cost-efficient, and at the heart, there is a sovereignty. It means that people who use BlueMind will know what is done with their data, because our software is open source, and where the data is. So, as software publishers, there is a very simple relationship between BlueMind, the company, and BlueMind, the software. So this gives us, we are 100% invested in doing BlueMind the solution. So we can build, we've been building technological expertise for a long time. We have a vision, and we are going to hold this vision. Well, this is, of course, a long-term commitment, and we are working hard to build a strong ecosystem around us. The next slide will be about that. So I've talked about BlueMind and our partner network, and we've built a lot of tools for this partner network. A lot of tools to enable partners or customers to be able to install, to use, to document Bluemind, to bring Bluemind as a credible solution to other messaging solutions. So we've built a marketplace. I've told about the APIs. Anyone can contribute and write an add-on to Bluemind to bring new functionalities and publish it to the marketplace. We are administrating the marketplace, but it is open for our partners and for all the ecosystem. There are tools for everyone. There are tools for a very specific niche. There's room for everyone on this marketplace. And of course, we are very active on in the community. So you know about the Paris Open Source Summit. Solibre is an association of companies, open source companies. You know about the CNLL. Pierre Baudraco is, of course, very active on all of those. There's the OW2. Thank you for doing what you're doing. It's been a great pleasure to be here. Last week, we've organized the first Bluemind Summit, and we haven't completely recovered yet. So sorry about my voice too. And you see Pierre is a bit tired too. It's been a success. It was the first time we were organizing our first event, gathering partners, customers, and it's been really a pleasure to meet in person all of those structures. So I won't try to convince you that email is the #1 tool for collaboration. There are figures. We haven't made those. Email is a real need for any company, any university, any public account, whatever. You need email to work on a day-to-day basis. So the problem is, for email, but for a lot of other markets, most of the solutions are American. And this is a problem. I won't get into the details why this is a problem, but this is globally acknowledged as a problem. So people are beginning to realize this, and they are starting to take actions on the French level or on the European level. So we'll see how it goes, but this is a good time to promote local initiatives and local companies, and of course, open source is a real weapon to fight against the big companies. So I'm going to go back to the email market. So when you have an email project, you meet a new customer. The road to success, there's a door, and on this door there's a lock. If you've worked on email projects, you know what I'm talking about. If you're only an email user, you certainly know about this logo. This is Outlook. For a lot of users, for most users actually, Outlook is a synonym of email. This is the tool they are using every day. They're using it for mail, of course, but for much more than this. This is the #1 tool. This is arguably the most functional. You can do everything on it. People are spending their days only working with it. So we've acknowledged this, and we've worked hard on Bluemind 4. This is the most recent release of Bluemind. And we've acknowledged that users they need Outlook. Maybe not all users, but for every project there are a more or less important part of the user base who really depend on Outlook. So they love it, and if you try to tell them, okay, this is another tool, you will be able to do everything you are currently doing with Outlook, well, they will find their habits completely scattered all over 2, 3, 4 different applications. Of course, functionality-wise, everything will be here, but this won't work. This will be a deal breaker. So I'm going to have a look how technically the Outlook and Exchange stack is organized. I'm not going to get into the details, but here it is. You see, there is standards on the left. There is the RFC, SMTP, and once you get into the Exchange and Outlook stack, if you know about email, you'll see none of this will be familiar, because all of this is proprietary stack, Microsoft proprietary stack. So and it doesn't look like email at all. Even in the core, how the data is stored, it's stored in MAPI stores. It's a key value store. It doesn't look like email at all. And there are Exchange services, an Active Directory, and there are the Exchange protocols, which are used to talk with Outlook. So Outlook doesn't know about standards. Of course, people will tell you Outlook can be used as a NIMAP client, for instance, but it doesn't work well at all, and this is only mail. Everything that is collaborative in Outlook doesn't work if you don't have the MAPI protocol. So we've acknowledged this, and we've tried, and we've succeeded in re-implementing the protocols. It started with changing how we are storing the data at the core of BlueMind. And you'll see all of this is publicly described. There are specifications, because the European Commission has worked hard to force Microsoft to open the specification, but it's full of traps and hidden data, and it's really, really complex. See, for instance, one document is about the known messages properties. It's almost 400 pages, and it's only one document out of more than 100. For every of those properties, many properties are binaries. It means there are strings of 0 and 1s, and we've had a really hard time figuring out what all of this means. You see, and very often, too, there are hidden messages. It means that to understand what's going on between an Exchange server and Outlook, we have to see what's going on the wire. So it's been, we've had a real hard time, and a lot of companies have tried to do this. We've been working on this for 5 years, and there was a tunnel effect. We couldn't talk about it. Of course, we couldn't see anything working, because we had to have at least a good coverture of the functionality before Outlook would only start to accept to start. So, and now we're done. BlueMind 4.0 is out, and now it is able to talk with the BlueMind server just as if it was an Exchange server. So your VIP is happy, and you can do your email project, and you can bring change, and you can give the companies the choice to use something else than Exchange. So BlueMind is now the only 100 Outlook-compatible connector-free solution. I mean that in BlueMind, we are not using connectors, which is we've used to do this. It means that we were using Outlook as an IMAP client, and we were adding some functionalities with connectors. This is what Zimbra does, for instance, and a lot of competitors do this, but it doesn't work well because it does not make use of the native Outlook functions. So we've implemented the MAPI layers, well, and it can talk to Outlook. So now the choice is here. And by choice, we mean we don't encourage people to use Outlook, of course, but we are giving them the choice to, once BlueMind is installed, to use anything they like, and maybe discover that alternative is good, and that in the ecosystem they'll find something that will suit them just as well as Outlook in the long term. But we've opened the door to email. Thank you very much.